Hey there, welcome to the Second Lunch podcast. This is episode 1. For our listeners, I feel dumb saying listeners. I feel like I could probably address them all by name if I had to.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. Thanks, Danica, Allie. My wife's probably not going to listen, just her siblings, who actually do find me funny.
Tell us how things are going.
Right away in. Yeah, right away in. Already shitting my wife. All right, this is a podcast that is at least right now about nothing. I think we're going to talk about food a lot today, actually, which should come as no surprise looking at the both of us. We'll talk a little bit about me. I'm Chris Moran. I'm a stand-up comic. This is my friend Kolpy here. We met doing stand-up
15 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was when you were still doing stand-up.
Yeah.
I've quit twice since then. And
you're on your Michael Jordan Wizards part of your career at this stage.
Very much so. But yeah, we met doing stand-up, and we were at the Wenatchee Comedy Festival, and I think we really bonded when we were shit-faced on the roof of a business downtown, and when I say on the roof of a business, it was like 2 stories, and you're not meant to be up there, but we were.
Yeah.
And it was
OSHA
us.
violations be damned.
Yeah, it was us and a group of people, and everybody else got down the fire escape just fine. But me, being a big boy and a little afraid of heights, got a little freaked out by the ladder. And your boy over here helped me get down safely. I looked into those deep ocean blue eyes and fell in love.
I just said, as a fellow pre-diabetic, we can get through this together.
Yeah, I really hope my doctor's not watching me just drink hella beers on a podcast right now. I like that we have 3 listeners and one of them's my doctor.
Yeah.
We've already decided that.
My therapist is one of them. Hi, Laura.
No, this is going to be my therapy, unless Laura feels the need to therapize me after seeing this. Then I understand.
I'm on weekly. I'm going to end up on like a tri-weekly schedule after this.
Yeah, is the podcast going to help or hurt your mental health? Are you going to need to see Laura more? Or?
It'll be cathartic, but I also feel like dark. So, hard to say.
How many episodes in you think before we cry about something?
Oh, within 6.
Within 6?
Yeah.
Bucks and 6? That's what's going to do it. You bring up the
Yeah.
Bucks. The Bucks winning the finals. That's gets me every time. All right. So we got some topics here because otherwise we're just going to get out of control, off topic.
Nobody will want to listen to it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know that anyone's going to want to listen to it anyway.
We're probably already turned off. So let her rip. Let it fly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll let you run this thing since you got the board.
I do have the board. Well, we're going to do Tinderella questions first, do a little get to know you sort of segment. So I think we can go back and forth on these if you want.
We can do that.
Yeah. So, Chris, what is your first memory?
My first memory, it is one of 2 things, maybe 3. I don't know which happened first, but one, we were like at my parents' current house. It was like right when we were moving in, and I was standing out back, and I decided since I was alone, it was a good time to pick my nose without getting in trouble. And
privacy.
It was the first time have you ever gotten one of those ones that's like it latches onto your finger, right? And you start pulling it out and you feel like you're pulling something like out of the back of your throat. For a second I thought I was dying. I was like, there's organs coming out right now this is
It's like an ancient person who thinks that your main artery is connected to your finger. Clearly this is the end of me.
So it's either that or I remember trying really hard to figure out how to put on a shirt. I know that sounds really dumb, but I remember being like looking at the shirt, like the front of the shirt facing me, and putting it on and then being like, why the fuck is it backwards? And I was like, no, like, seriously, what's going on here? I did it like 5 or 6 times and I could not figure out. Like, I'm looking at the front. Why isn't it going on frontwards? And I went and asked my babysitter, and she was like, you want to know a trick? turn it around, then try putting it on. I thought this was magic.
Love at first sight.
Yeah, she was very hot, actually. We don't need to get into how all my babysitters are hot. I think that was fucked up of my parents to do that. Which leads me to our next question. When was the first time you watched porn, and what was it?
I think I was probably 11 years old, and I think I threw on one of those like Skinamax Comcast things called
You
like.
paid for porn the first time you saw it?
No, I think it was part of a cable package we were stealing at the time. But I thought, correctly so, that I could probably get away with it. If I was like, I thought it was Lord of the Rings. It happened to actually be Lord of the G-Strings.
Lord of the
There's
Chili
a
Rings.
lot of plausible deniability, especially when you have an 8th grade reading level. It seems totally like you could get away with that.
Did you just read or brag about your reading level when you were 11?
2 grade levels up.
That's pretty good, dude. I was happy when I got to my reading level at my grade.
Okay, in fairness, I don't know long division. So, to me, it's a bit of a wash. When I was tutoring those kids, dreaded long division week. I'm like sitting out in my car. What the how do you do this?
Maybe you can teach me.
Binomial? Fuck off.
Oh, I should have. Well, now I'll answer that question. I didn't let you answer the first one. But first time I saw porn.
That's okay. I've been legally advised not to answer the first memory question. I was at El Toro Air Force Base.
I went on Ask Jeeves. That really dates this. And
Jeeves hooked it up?
I typed in vagina with a B, Bajina, and Jeeves took me there, dude. I saw two blonde ladies making it together. That blew my fucking mind because I didn't know that happened. For sure, I knew that I liked that. I was like, "That's pretty cool." I'm definitely a fan of that.
Immediate reaction.
Still a fan of that to this day. I'm still like.
We're learning a lot about Chris's formative years.
Two girls getting it on is a good time. I am good with that. Yeah, I also discovered that same day foot fetishism, which not kink shaming, still don't understand. Wish I did. I wish I had a foot fetish. I've talked to you about this before. Wish I had that has to be the easiest thing to satisfy.
Yeah, go to the beach.
I get a job at airport security. They're taking their shoes off. You have to. You see any feet you want there. Chubbing it up all day, you know what I mean? But
way different than a butthole fetish.
Right? Yeah, I can't there's no store I can go to at the mall like Foot Locker and see like Russian teen butthole or
specialty
something, you know what I mean?
beach that you can go to.
Yeah.
Doing naked cartwheels out here.
All right, your turn.
All right, so I'm just gonna mix it up on here. What's the worst nickname someone has ever called you?
Oh God. Well, the one I liked the least was Cheeks, because I have big old chubby cheeks and I smiled a lot. And when I put on a football helmet and I was like kind of smashed into it, they were even. I mean, I had to look like a chipmunk. And Frankie actually. We're going to talk about Frankie more.
Oh, the New Yorker came up with a cruel nickname?
Yeah. New Jersey. Chris, buddy. Yeah, so Cheeks, another one I didn't like, but I had to admit that it was pretty accurate, was the Big Sweat. When I played basketball in junior high, we would play shirts versus skins, and I fucking dominated when I was on the skins team because nobody wanted to touch me because I sweated so much. Sweated, which I don't know. Anyway,
sweated,
yeah. But yeah, so fucking dominated on skins, and yeah, somebody started calling me the Big Sweat, and I was like, damn it, that's good.
He's like a young Kareem in the paint.
Yeah, it's accurate. What about you? Worst nickname?
It's the one you gave me. It's Grumpy.
It's so accurate.
That's the problem. There's also no way to refute a nickname like that without immediate. See, I'm already my hands up. My blood pressure's up 5 points. I can't argue that it's a great nickname, but it's also one of those things like there is something about the sound grum. There's nothing appealing there.
Yeah.
No sexy guy's ever been named Grum. Or anything that rhymes with grum. It is. That sounds like a sewer person. It sounds like somebody lives under a bridge, a troglodyte of some kind. Somebody that's been living off of Jersey Mike's for 6 months.
Total smooth brain. Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying it's inaccurate. I'm just saying it's deeply upsetting.
Okay. Oh, geez. I lost.
Don't worry, I got one for you. What's the worst fast food meal you've ever had, and why do you keep going back there, you fat fuck?
You fat fuck. Dude. Oh, I just realized I did go back after that. Is the worst part. I had some really bad KFC one time, which I didn't even know. Like, they have so many different locations. How are any of them? It's fried chicken. How are you fucking up chicken? And dude, it was just bad. It was like soggy and kind of tasted like ass, not in a good way. And yeah, it was just terrible. I threw it out. Didn't even finish it. Oh, got something else for dinner. Just said fuck this. And I mean, I kept.
That's when it's truly.
I kept
bad.
the biscuits. But yeah, I had to fuck it off entirely. But yeah, I went back a couple of weeks later. I had completely forgotten about it until now, actually. Until you brought it up. What about you?
Oh, my worst one by far was I missed a call from my dad, Mike, who we'll talk about plenty on this show. And based on the time and how old I was like, oh, I bet he was calling me for food. You know, he generally understands what I like. But I called him back, and he's like, oh, shit, buddy. Sorry, Coley, missed you. I was at Subway. I already got you a sandwich. I was like, now I'm worried because there's too much flexibility with what Mike can do at a Subway. He's not getting Arby's melts now. So this guy orders me. First of all, this sandwich has an impossible amount of olives. Like the one thing I would absolutely not want on the sandwich. But he also ordered me cold cut combo. There's 3 kinds of bologna on there. I thought Satan only made 1 kind of bologna. 3 kinds of bologna. It was basically inedible. And I know how bougie that sounds, but I don't give a shit.
Do you think bologna, Italy is proud of bologna or not?
You know, from what I understand, it's basically like, what is it, mortadella? It's just more blended up. Like, in theory, bologna's not the worst thing ever, but in practice, my father gave me the worst sandwich that was ever made.
Bologna is technically meat.
That's you want your meat to come with technicalities. In fact, you want all 3. You want every word to come with its own set of quotations. Where you're like, authentic meat. Why did they separate? Why do they both have their own quotations?
There's also an asterisk? Oh, God. All right. Have you ever had somebody call you the wrong name and not had the heart to correct them? If so, what did they call you?
So most of the time, I'm either called Joel or Paul. Those both,
what?
Yeah, those are the,
okay, Joel.
Yeah, it happens. But my favorite was not my name.
You mean Joel P. or Paul P.
It's
right? Kolpy. Grumpy.
Pierce, that's right. At Starbucks once, my name was spelled Koll. Like, are you gonna put an umlaut on the O? I don't know how you pronounce that. That's not a word I recognized. Koll.
Wow, that would have been a better question. Is that the most butchered spelling of your name you've ever gotten?
Probably. Certainly the most memorable.
It's hard to. I mean, I get
a lot of, Chris. I
get a lot of KR. I was gonna say nobody really fucks up my name. Luckily, it's one of those names like you hear it and you're not like thinking it's something else. But my brother-in-law, first time he met my dad, he's like, "What's your dad's name?" And I was like, "Rich." But we were at a bar and it was kind of loud, and so he was like, "Rick," and I was like, "Rich," and he's like, "Okay, Rick." So he's been calling my dad Rick forever.
Like 14
and
years.
I keep being like, it's Rich, and it doesn't register, or he doesn't fucking care. I don't know. But not only have I stopped correcting him, my dad never has. My dad is just like, okay, I guess I'm Rick to him, whatever.
It's too lodged in the reptile brain at this point.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are there more Tinderella questions that we should be asking each other?
I think there are. Oh, yeah. What's the most embarrassing thing you're afraid of, or something you're scared of that most people aren't?
Moths.
Moths, really?
They're erratic, unpredictable. Don't trust them. They come into your house. They just bat up against shit. Like a a horsefly or some other insect you don't want to deal with, there's at least like a flight pattern. If it's on the other side of the room, it's like, okay, I got a few minutes. If it comes over here, I'll hear it coming. A moth just completely zooms across the room. Anytime there's a moth in my house, it's all hands on deck.
I mean, I guess its point.
We can't exist in the same place together.
It's like trying to fly directly into the sun.
Right.
Also, right.
Right. I
That's
mean,
insane.
If everything around you is the sun, then
they can't have good mental health. I mean, if they're actively trying to commit suicide at all times.
I mean, I'm in weekly therapy.
Imagine what the moth. They got to see Laura
healthcare
too.
system. All right.
Mine is rodents. Can't do it. Won't do it.
I don't think that's irrational, but is it to the degree?
What's irrational is like the thought process when I see one is it's going to run up my pant leg and try to bite my wiener. Every time. That's what I'm assuming it's trying to do. I don't know why. And it's not even like, that's just the first of things I don't want it to do to me. I don't want it to touch me at all. But anytime one time there was a mouse in my parents' house, I literally ran out the front door and got to the top of the neighborhood before I was like, okay, I'm safe.
I'm safe. My wiener's safe.
My wiener's safe, yeah. Honestly, if I had a rat infestation, I would just burn the house down. It just not going to fuck with it.
Yeah, I remember you got
ground.
rodents in your Mustang, and I believe you then
sold the car. New car, brand new car. That week. Yeah, a couple days later, I got a new car. I was not fucking with that.
I was afraid to tell you after that my Focus had mice in it at one point. It was like, Chris isn't going to ride in my car.
That's not even the first time that's happened in my family, by the way. My mom did that with a minivan, too.
A lot can fit in there. You're dealing with capacity issues.
Oh.
All right. Any more of these?
I think we're good on this, right? We'll do this. We'll do.
Yeah, we can come back to this.
No doubt.
You, before we started recording our first podcast, titillated me with some stories about your wife's family and what they may or may not put ketchup
right.
on.
This is my fucking opportunity to finally talk about this. I've been wanting to get this off my chest, but I wanted you to hear it for the first time here. My wife's family has been doing some appalling and frankly reckless things with ketchup. Outrageous, dude. I came home. I was gone 2 days. 2 days. 2 days. We had a Costco-sized ketchup, half gone. Okay, when I left. I came back. My wife made some potato wedges. I was like, perfect thing for ketchup. Ketchup's gone. I said, how the fuck did you and your mom go through half a thing of ketchup in 2 days? Costco thing of ketchup in 2 fucking days. She started telling me the things her mom is putting ketchup on.
Oh, it's like a laundry list.
I'll read them to you, and you can tell. We'll do true or false.
Okay, you slip some fake ones in here?
I slipped some fake ones in here, and you can tell me what you think is fake.
Okay.
I'll start now. Omelet.
True. That's got to be true.
That's fair.
That's
Eggs,
classic.
Right? And you know what? I'm not perfect. I put ketchup on mashed potatoes. But here's the thing. I can see how our tech is looking at me right now. Think about how married the potato and the tomato are. You put ketchup on any other potato thing. So it's not that weird. You mash them up. What's the difference? They're just mashed. So now we're caring about, you can go ahead and talk. Let's hear what you have to say.
I just want to say everyone's entitled to their incorrect opinions.
We're going to have to cut that out.
That's the only thing.
So, I get that that's weird, but I think the potato and tomato are rightfully married. You want to put ketchup on any type of potato, hot dog, hamburger, go crazy. Lay's potato chips.
Okay. I was looking for ways to make Lay's potato chips less healthy.
That one's true, Cole. That my wife was doing that. My wife did that. Get ketchup chips.
The moment you said it, I was pretty sure it was true.
And who eats like? No, I'm not gonna. Today is not the time to get going on the Lay's, people. But you're eating air with salt. Anyway, burrito.
Was it a breakfast burrito? Do I get any more intel than that?
All encompassing.
Just okay. I gotta say yes. If it's dealer's choice burrito, I gotta say they did it.
Yep,
Okay.
they did that.
Okay.
Chinese food, almond fried chicken with gravy specifically.
See, this is one. This is anarchy. This.
I saw your face. It's appalling. That's
Well, the problem is it's both a very outrageous thing to choose, but you were also so specific that it makes me really believe it.
I know. I blew it. I gave it away because I'm mad, dude. I'm mad. Don't even get Chinese food. Why did you bring China into this? You could have get the fucking KFC.
It is pretty unfair to
shitty.
bring that entire nation into your own crimes against food. I feel like you should keep that domestic. Maybe to North America at best.
All pork. All kinds of pork.
Trotters, tripe, whole thing. I mean, see, I'm going through, okay, like sausages, none of these things sound like they should have ketchup on them to me.
You know what? I'll say you can put ketchup on a brat as well.
Okay, okay, yeah. If sausage is a broad term. Okay, I gotta say true. I gotta guess true on this.
I feel like I have to admit something now because my family in Wisconsin may not like what I'm about to say. But if you put ketchup on a summer sausage, I think that's okay too. Only because I do that.
When you post this on Facebook, you're gonna have to take out all your Wisconsin family.
Cole, would you put ketchup on a quesadilla?
No. Absolutely not.
You know who would? My wife's family. Cole, what about mac and cheese?
This is starting to bum me out. Is this still comedy?
Yeah.
Is this still comedy or is this something bleaker?
Has it turned into drama yet?
This is like post-apocalyptic. I had to fight him for green beans.
See, at this point, I don't know if you've gotten the theme here.
Are these all true?
These are all true. These are all true. At some point, the food is just a vehicle for getting ketchup. And why even involve anything else? Just eat ketchup. Allie, her sister, I shouldn't have said her name, but Katie's sister.
That's okay. She's not watching.
Would literally just eat spoonfuls of mustard. Oh my God. Katie told me another thing on my way out today about Allie. I'm saying her name now and I mean it because she needs to be exposed. She will take like a little bowl of ketchup and add pepper to it. A couple spoonfuls of pepper and then mix it up and eat that. What is going on here? What is with the ketchup?
See, that's when you're in some sort of bleak housing.
You're
the old woman that lives in the shoe.
This is some sinister stuff. What are you doing?
Truly diabolical.
Yeah. Hey, Cole, guess what else? Steak.
See, that one I could have predicted.
Are you
that's
what?
Like
no.
That's
No. You were saying I shouldn't have led with the Chinese food and all that. Steak should be near the beginning because that's outrageous.
It's
ketchup on steak.
Other folks do that though. At least
Ketchup on steak.
It's presidential.
It's presidential.
It's presidential.
Steak well done.
That's true. That's.
Oh.
Was it a mid-rare steak? Are they really going for that war crime?
Here's the problem. My father-in-law will only eat well done steak.
Just eat chicken, then.
Dave.
Just exactly. Don't eat steak. Eat something else. But no, he loves it. He loves it. He actually doesn't. He's not the one who puts ketchup on it. Because that's a good point. Are you going to order a steak medium rare and then be like, can I have some ketchup for this, please? No, you never cared about how this tasted. Why'd you even, I could have just cooked this all the way through.
Yeah, it's like a hockey puck.
Here's the last one, Cole, and this, I think, upset me the most. Although steak really upset me. Salmon.
First question, every question.
Yeah.
To go Kyle Kinane.
First question,
all
all the questions.
all of the questions. I'm, again, still not blown away by that. I think I'm going to be stuck on Chinese food for like 72 hours.
That's, right? Why did you even bother with Chinese?
And even though you named the dish, my only thing playing in my mind is chow mein for whatever reason. I'm just like,
There
noodles
was a
and
couple
ketchup.
other dishes that also got ketchup, which I didn't remember.
They were in the line of
Katie
fire.
was like telling me, and I
Collateral
didn't
damage.
know at the time I was putting this on the pod, but I knew I needed to write some of it down. And so I only got in the whatever it was.
Yeah, you
chicken
missed
with
like
gravy.
yogurt or
Yeah.
whatever else was on
yeah,
there.
yeah.
All right. Next one. I do have to ask you what this is about.
What does it say? I can't see.
Fully frosted. Now, what is this about?
Okay, so I saw a tweet the other day, and the tweet said, "Why aren't we fully frosting Pop-Tarts? We have the technology." And I think that's a good point. Why? Just frost the whole thing. I don't understand. Why is it just the portion in the middle?
I mean, the American public is committed to dessert as breakfast for a long time.
Gotta get my diabetes somewhere.
What's the Denny's, like, children's pancakes? That's the red, white, and blue that comes with, like, whipped cream smile and face. That's breakfast for, like, a 6-year-old here. So,
Fair.
I mean,
Or like cereal is just straight sugar.
cereal's not food. That's a one important thing that I want to clarify.
Oh,
that-
sure, but we're eating it for breakfast.
Oh, yeah, you can eat all kinds of shit that ain't food. You can eat drywall, but cereal's not food. Cereal is great at masquerading as food. No nutrients. I would believe that you could get more nutrients from sand than from Lucky Charms.
Does any other mealtime have more dishes masquerading as food that just aren't? 'Cause,
Not
like,
even close. Not even. First of all, the other two meals don't even venture into the sweets realm. Like when you're having lunch, you're like, you know what? I could really just go for a stack of French toast. You do that, people are going to look at you like you're a madman. They're going to look at your house like, does Ed Gein live here? Is this Ed's place?
How the fuck did they even invent French toast? That had to be an accident, right?
That's a creation of, I have 3 things, and I'm going to make it work.
I'm gonna make this bread soggy, or I'll be damned. Damn it,
Or
it's
I'll die
soggy now.
trying.
How do I make this not soggy?
I
I'll
better
just
fry
cook
the
it.
shit out of this.
Holy shit.
All I've got are eggs, milk, and bread. Fairly classic peasant components, but yeah, I think that to fully frost a Pop-Tart, though, casts you too far into the darkness as far as, like, now your breakfast is truly, like, I mentioned Lucky Charms. See, you need those little ankh-shaped grain pieces to make you feel like
you're
you at
not
least,
just eating
I got
marshmallows.
at least one vitamin A. I got one granular vitamin A. You can't just frost the whole Pop-Tart. You need to at least have some visible bread that indicates some benefits. Like something that could start your day properly.
It's about the indication.
Yeah, not something that's going to crack your toilet bowl by 9 o'clock.
We were kind of getting into this before we hit record, actually. But do you prepare your Pop-Tart? Do you eat it? Do you just eat it right out of the wrapper? Do you actually put it in the toaster like it's supposed to be prepared?
I look at the people that put it in the toaster with great reverence. Look at these patient gods walking among us.
Right? It's all about patience.
I
'cause
barely got this out of the wrapper.
It's not that I don't want it to be warm. It's that I'm not putting up with that. I'm
Yeah.
just not. I've had a warm Pop-Tart before. I was like, this is fucking rad.
It's like people are like, oh, have you tried a warm Pop-Tart? Yeah, I've also tried making a s'more without burning it. Took forever. Putting that shit right in the
Just
fire.
Burn it right
If there was a
away.
Pop-Tart
Start-
equivalent to lighting the whole thing on fire and blowing it out in 6 seconds, then that's the way I'd be preparing it. But
you could light the
I'm
whole
stuck
thing
with this.
on fire and blow it out in a few seconds. That could be your route. Okay, what is next?
We got candy bars. And this
Okay.
one I'm worried about. You haven't fully filled me in.
Yeah, I was thinking, I think it was a Snickers commercial the other day. And for starters, it's weird that they kind of try to make them look sexy. It's like kind of slow-mo and the lighting is kind of moody.
Yeah.
But then, as if it's not already weird, you get some psycho just breaking the thing straight in half. Like anybody's ever eaten a candy bar that way.
You couldn't even open it that way. For the plastic to break that way, I feel like you'd have to be very strong. Like, you'd have to be like Mr. T just ripping the end off. Or they're pre-perforating these things. They're they've doctored our candy bar commercials because you cannot open or like a Twix commercial. Somebody will like offer you a Twix like it's a Marlboro in a soft pack. They'll just like kick one out. You want a Twix?
I don't know what that brings to the table though. Like, what does making the audience think you breaking the candy bar in half, like, how does that sell it?
Community. Camaraderie, teamwork. No, I mean, I completely agree because first, I mean, we're two fat guys. I don't want to guess our combined weight. But who is taking one of their two Twix? First of all, this needs to be a king size if you're doling out entire bars of your Twix.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Do you even fucking bother with the non-king size candy anymore?
No.
Do you buy candy anymore? Am I the only adult still buying candy?
No, you're not the only one. Ashley loves candy. I dipped out on it for a while when I became diabetic, but now that I'm post-diabetic, a rare quitter. Yeah, I mean, candy's expensive these days, so you might as well just go for the gold. Might as well just get your whole four Twix bars.
Expensive these days. What are you, like 95? Who says that?
What? Compared to what? King size bar, $2.49.
It just it's candy, dude. It doesn't matter what it costs. That's not what it's about. It's about the good times, man. Oh no, I've been caught by the fucking commercials. They've gotten me. I don't even care how much it costs anymore.
Exactly.
It's working on me.
Yeah.
They broke it right down the middle.
It's like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory thing.
That's appalling to me. Breaking a candy bar down. Nobody eats it like that.
No.
I would say ketchup on Chinese food is more appropriate.
I'd agree with that.
Than breaking a candy bar straight down the middle.
Also, while we're on the topic, I just want to throw out there that if your candy bar has fewer than 3 ingredients, if your over-under is 2.5 ingredients and you hit the under, you're not a candy bar. Hit the bricks.
It sucks.
Payday, Three Musketeers, get out of here.
Three Musketeers sucks. I still eat it sometimes, don't get me wrong. But it's like the last of the Halloween candy, right? You know what I mean? It's like... It might get into December, frankly, if I'm being completely honest.
You've
gets
got
all the way
just a
through
bag
November
with like
sure.
4 Three Musketeers. You've got like 6 things of Smarties and a toothbrush. That's what's left in the pillowcase.
And a rotting apple.
Do I look like I take in fiber?
I ate all the razor blades before I got. That was a weird reference.
We were talking Halloween candy. I don't think so. I do want to ask you though. I'm going to move us along because I have to get Uncle Dave on the calendar here.
Jesus. Uncle Dave was in town. I love this man. And to attempt to describe him to somebody who's never met him, the man subsists almost entirely on Mountain Dew and gas station pepperoni.
And smokes.
He told me... he smokes so much. I couldn't possibly tell you how many packs a day, but it's more than one. And he told me that his doctor said he should actually not stop smoking because his body wouldn't be able to adjust.
Sounds like a doctor.
Yeah, sounds like a doctor, Dave. Also, I don't believe you ever went to the doctor. But
you got to start with the big lie to work your way down. I went to the doctor. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this man's never been on time for anything. Not to say the most hack joke ever, but he'll be late to his own funeral. You know what I mean? Like, he is eternally late. We go by Uncle Dave time. Anytime we're like, okay, it starts at 10, tell Uncle Dave 8:30. He might be there by 10.
Right.
He's eternally late, and he's also just a maniac when it comes to food. Like, he's always eating. When I picture him in my head, he's got just a grip of nuts or something. Like, he's always working on something, and he's always working on a do. I was telling you, he was in town for 5 days, and he had perfectly paced his 36 rack of Mountain Dew to have the exact same amount every day. That is an absurd amount of Mountain Dew to be drinking.
That also worries me because it implies that in a world with unlimited dew,
yeah, what would happen?
He would have
What
gone
does his pee look
completely
like?
off the rails.
Because I've never seen him drink
just like
water.
Mountain Dew.
Just doesn't get digested at all. It just goes straight through. Straight doopy.
We absolutely need to get more Uncle Dave on the podcast.
Dude, when he was here, he was like, he can't wait. He's always starving. And he was, his saying, I don't even know where it comes from or what it actually means. But he's like, wrap my ass in fiberglass. Let's go. Like, trying to get my mom to cook dinner faster. My mom's also eternally late, too. Like, if we're eating dinner at 7, we're eating dinner at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. I remember a Thanksgiving story or two.
Oh, fuck me. Yeah. Everybody's had their Thanksgiving dinner shit by the time we've even started eating. But, so my mom was cooking dinner not as quickly as Uncle Dave wanted her to. And so he started getting a little antsy. He started going into the kitchen, and he's like, Karen, you want any help in here? And my mom was like, no, Dave, you don't even know what I'm cooking. Like, how are you going to help? Also, I've never seen the man cook, ever. Like I said, I've seen him come out with mitts full of gas station pepperoni before, but I've never seen him cook an egg or anything. And so he was just kind of in the kitchen. Like, I don't know if he was just trying to like hurry my mom along.
Well, he got the lie in to get himself in there. See, now he's in the building.
We're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And this was after he'd already polished off. He had one of those, like, man, I'm going to reference Costco again. I feel like they should sponsor the show for all three of our listeners. He had a Costco thing like this big of shrimp designed for a party of people, and he had it in his arm like this, and it was just constant.
I like how he's got it like a ball carrier, like he doesn't want to get strip sacked.
Exactly. Well, I think he felt like if he held it close, people weren't going to try to take any. I think that was the main point. This was his.
It's so it's more like prison eating, where you put both arms around, and you kind of shovel in.
He crushed the whole thing in like 15 minutes.
We're not even tails left.
That amount of protein, I don't know how he wasn't shitting his pants by the time he even finished it. But that wasn't enough. The man was ravenous, right? He's in the kitchen. He's in my mom's grill. And so my mom had like just finished peeling potatoes. They're still raw. And she puts them in some water to start boiling. I don't know how you fucking make potatoes. I don't know. All I know is ketchup belongs on any kind. And as soon as my mom left the room, he just snagged a potato and started eating a raw potato. He had to get it in him.
See,
somehow.
that makes me worried about him. See, that makes me feel like there's
Who
a
eats
nutrient
a raw
deficiency.
Potato?
Only the desperate.
Who eats a raw
And
okay.
Uncle Dave and my dad.
What's worse, raw potato, ketchup on Chinese food?
Oh, ketchup on Chinese food.
Over raw potato, really?
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you.
I mean, raw potato, there's integrity, there's class there. You know, there's precedent.
There's commitment at the very least.
Ketchup on the chow mein.
Ketchup's pretty much always a cop-out, I hate to say it.
That's very alarming. Yeah, that is a great question, but the fact that he didn't even, throw a little salt and pepper on the raw spud, it's just getting fished out of the water. Alarming.
Well, I was thinking about I think I've told you a little bit about this. I am writing a book about an encounter that I had with a Nashville hot chicken sandwich when I was in Eugene, Oregon.
You did.
And I thought there was no better person to help me on my journey to understanding what I experienced than my Uncle Dave. So I talked to him a little bit about it. But it kind of leads into our next subject, actually. So this sandwich, I don't even know how to describe other than like, it's the best thing I've ever put in my mouth. I wanted to put my dick in it. It was perfect. When I shat later, I was like a little bummed out. It wasn't still inside.
It was no
it
longer
was,
a part of you.
Yeah, it was incredible. So I'll read my Yelp review for this. And I've never been a Yelper. I've never felt the need to, because nobody cares. There's two people who review things on Yelp. It's the people who are giving 5 stars, or it's somebody who's giving 1 star and there's clearly other shit happening in their life.
Right.
It's not even that place deserves 1 star. It's that, this burrito fucked my wife, know.
And these wages are garnished. They didn't do that.
Yeah, who hurt you? There's other things at play here. This has Nothing to do with the enchiladas. So anyway, I wrote a review for Elkhorn Brewery in Eugene, Oregon, and it goes a little something like this.
He's just trying to get a free sandwich now.
I went way out of my way the last time I was in Oregon. Way out of my way to get this sandwich. You think I'm not going to drive an hour and a half out of my way for this sandwich? I probably would have driven 3 hours. It's incredible. It's incredible. Anyway, sorry. Here's the review. 5 stars. I haven't had any of the beer yet. This review is specifically for the food I had, which was incredible. I got the Nashville hot chicken sandwich with slaw on it, and despite being a little apprehensive about ordering a Nashville hot chicken sandwich in Eugene, Oregon, which is implicitly not Nashville, I was absolutely blown away. I may have a hard time explaining this experience as I found myself basking in wonderful, spicy bliss throughout the duration of my meal, as well as a 5 to 10 minute reflection period after. Nothing going through my head, just hot chicken in my tummy and endorphins in my veins. It was perfection. My wife finally got me to snap out of my hot chicken daydream, and the only word I could utter, incredible. Sincerely the best thing I've ever put in my body. The pretzel was also good.
Now, are you sure you didn't also have something else going on in your life?
I had a boner. Dude, it was, I have never felt this way, even about my wife. I keep thinking about this sandwich. There's been times, actually, you know what? I went back because I had to see if it stacked up again. Because, I was like, maybe it was just, right place, right time, like the summer fling. You know what I mean? Something like that. Maybe I was just super hungry. So anyway, I was doing some shows in Southern Oregon a couple weeks ago. I went back and I wrote another review. Do you want to hear it?
Absolutely. You're passionate.
I had business in Oregon some 3 hours away and decided to make a pilgrimage to what I can still only describe as the single greatest sandwich I have ever consumed, and as expected, it was nothing short of a religious experience. I had been daydreaming about when we would meet again for months, occasionally being interrupted by my wife's curiosity as to why I was staring off into the middle distance. That sandwich, I would utter, with a bittersweet feeling of both loss and pure bliss, not knowing if I would ever taste such elegance again. After our first encounter, I found myself deeply saddened the sandwich would no longer be a part of me when indisposed later that day. Though it had physically been evacuated, it still held a place in my heart. I think that's the most clever way I've ever described taking a shit.
Also, I'm glad that's on the Yelp review.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, there's not enough mention about pooping it out later in these reviews, I'm just going to say. However, having only had the sandwich once, time became my enemy in terms of holding on to an accurate remembrance. Was I just seeing the sandwich through Nashville hot chicken tinted glasses? Had my memory betrayed me? Had I really enjoyed such an incredible meal? I had to learn the truth. I returned to Elkhorn Brewing on a mission. I was politely asked if I would like the special and quickly interjected as if waiting another instant would kill me. The Nashville hot chicken sandwich, please. Slaw on top, I said confidently, letting them know there wasn't a single degree of hesitation and that I would not be persuaded to even consider another dish. We're like 3 paragraphs in here on a Yelp review, just saying.
I can tell.
There's more. I waited impatiently for what felt like hours. It was actually maybe 10 minutes. Outstanding service at this place. The anticipation killing me. My sandwich arrived and was in my hands and en route to my mouth before the server even left the table. The second it touched my tongue, I felt as if my soul had been struck by lightning. Endorphins flying through my veins, coleslaw dripping carelessly down my beard. My memory had served me right. Luckily, I was sitting alone, not only because I must have appeared to be a maniacal, ravenous mammal, but because there would be no way of communicating this experience with anyone else. Even this account is a feeble injustice to its existence. Consume at your own risk. I am forever changed.
So you did get the sponsorship.
Working on it, but
okay.
Writing a book.
Okay.
Writing a book. It's going to be a little bit more sexual than that, I'm thinking. But
okay.
I still don't know what else to say, man. It was the best. I think about it all the time. I can't think of anything fatter about me than that. But I'm constantly thinking about the sandwich.
Your line of logic.
In Eugene, it doesn't even make sense. Why is this Nashville hot chicken sandwich in Eugene, Oregon?
Now we need somebody in the audience from Nashville to go test your theory of greatness.
I don't want to find out what they think. I'm concerned.
All right. For time reasons, I'm going to keep this guy moving along. So we have another topic here, and I know you can serve this one up. This will be a recurring segment. This is called Gucci or Greasy.
Okay.
Determine.
Gucci or Greasy. Basically, we're going to mention a topic, something that somebody does or doesn't do. Putting ketchup on steak. Gucci or Greasy. Clearly Greasy.
Or something else. Some third option that's
Gucci
darker.
being it's all good, it's all Gucci. Greasy being no, that's fucking wrong. You can't do that. So Gucci or Greasy, cherry picking flavors of jelly beans out of a communal bowl.
So this is complicated, I feel like, because it could be very greasy to just take all of the good uns, to use the preferred nomenclature, but I feel like grabbing a handful of loose jelly beans and just going at it like popcorn, that's anarchy. That's a person in need of help. Like, you need to cherry pick all of the good flavors is one thing, but to at least deliberately not mix in like a black licorice with a strawberry,
Black licorice.
to me, that's reasonable. That's,
This does bring up a good question. Why the fuck is Big Jelly Bean trying to sell us on all these shitty flavors? Keep the fucking black licorice.
Reagan.
If somebody wants black licorice, they'll go. Would you just say Reagan?
Man love jelly beans, hugely powerful. I don't know. Think about it.
Black licorice. Nobody likes jelly beans that much.
That's
Who?
that's a good point.
But why are they in there? Like, if I want black licorice or if I want popcorn flavor, whatever fucking other shitty ones
Right.
there are, why are they even in? Just
you go
give us
seek
a
that
bag
out.
that's just good one. Are they just trying to pump up the numbers for the shitty flavors so they don't have to get rid of? Who are they protecting here? Why are they protecting?
Somebody's friends with the local black licorice conglomerate. And they're like, you better 8%, motherfucker. You know what's in the contract. If 8% of those jelly bellies aren't black licorice,
That's the thing. Why do we
baby.
keep doing this to ourselves too? At some point, the consumers have to speak and say no more. Just give me only strawberry jelly beans or whatever the fucking ones you want are. Put that in the bowl. Don't get the bag that's the mixed because, or maybe that's why they do it so people can pick out the ones they want. I'm gonna say I think it's greasy to cherry pick flavors out.
I think that's fair.
Because then you just leave shitty ones for anybody else who's looking, and then there's just a shitty bowl of shitty jelly beans sitting there forever.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Now, how about when I cherry pick my Tums flavors, right? Because I
Go
feel like
crazy.
if I get a lime and an orange together, that's, again, we're back to lawlessness. We're back to being cave dwellers. And I need two identical flavors because I don't eat nearly as many jelly beans as I do Tums.
I think the difference
I don't know what that says about
is
me.
Tums are not nearly as communal. You know what I mean?
Maybe not where you live. Maybe not how you were
You
raised.
just have a bowl of Tums sitting out at home.
Well, if you've eaten Wendy's chili, you've got to have everybody prepared.
He's from the Midwest.
I do like the idea of like at reception, there's just a bowl of Tums.
I mean, just like Pepto-Bismol makes more sense as a beverage than a lot of things that get offered. Tums in a bowl, baby. All right. I'm going to keep this guy moving.
Fat guy in a little coat. I don't know about you, Cole.
I love how you're serving this up.
But
It's like I'm at a Foxworthy show.
I don't know why I feel like I have to do intros for everything. I don't know about you. It seems
Like I've served you up for it. It's my fault.
something better than that. But during COVID, I got significantly fatter. If there was a before and after picture, before COVID and after Chris, it would be surprising how much the after photo looks like a before photo. You know what I mean?
Like they've reversed the Weight Watchers advertisement.
Yeah.
You want to gain weight on COVID? Look at what it did for Chris.
Homeboy turned into a chubster, bro. I got too fat for my wedding ring. Wedding rings are onion rings. Am I right? Onion rings.
We're cutting that one.
But I also realized I've been doing this thing. Well, I had this thing during the pandemic, and I have to stop saying it because we're like far enough out of it that it's like I probably should have started losing weight by now. But also, it's like I can just get hammered on the couch at home and watch highlights. This is sick. Like I should have been doing this my whole life.
Who says you haven't?
I started doing this thing during the pandemic where fewer and fewer of my clothes were fitting. And so I had what I called my Doug clothes. Doug was the first cartoon I ever realized he wears the same clothes every single day. I'd never thought about that, but there's an episode where he opens his closet and it's a bunch of the same outfit hanging, which was really funny to me. And it was the first time it ever occurred to me. I was like, oh yeah, you never see him in different clothes. So I had my Doug clothes because I was just wearing the same shit every fucking day because I was down to like one outfit that still fit me. I have 2 shirts now. I have one shirt and then I have my other shirt when I have shows. I have the black one and then there's a green one. And I realized, like, why haven't I feel like if I buy fat clothes, I'm like committing to being fat. Like that's
Right.
the thing that is keeping me from being an actual fat person. No, the clothes still say
No, if you
1X.
If you buy the clothes, we all know that means you're committed to the idea of being fat
I'm
forever.
a fat person now. Yeah, I am a fat person now. So now I have a bunch of clothes that don't fucking fit, like not even close, and I'm
Right.
like refusing to do anything with them. I'm like, no, that'll fit again in June, and then June comes, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
We all have the closet full of aspirational clothes. So, yeah, I completely understand.
If I get too fat for the black or green shirt, I'm hosed, though.
If I see Chris walking around his house naked, I'll know what happened.
So what do we have to say at the end, Cole? I didn't think about what we're just going to say.
It's been a hoot. We'll think
Wrap
of something to
this thing
say next time.
Yeah, if you got this far, God bless you.
Hell yeah.
Um,
And we'll see you next week.
we'll see you next week.
All right. This has been Second Breakfast. No, Second Lunch.
Second lunch.
That's a Hobbit thing.
Whichever,
Sorry.
Whichever meal you like.
All right. Love you guys.